Welcome to Tops and Tails, a podcast about retro football kits and the stories connected to them. My name's Graham Hanlon.
My name's Kieran, and welcome to episode 4.
Sorry.
I was going to say no prizes for guessing who picked the tinsel. So, right at the Rangers shot last year.
The blue balls though. So
the blue balls. So Graham, here we have made it to episode 4. Thanks to everyone that watched episode 3. Anybody that gave it a like, a comment, we really appreciate all the support we've been shown, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. So episode 4, Graham's a biggie. We've went in deep.
Oh aye.
What are we talking about today?
We are since it's the season of goodwill to all men, we're gonna go right in about it, get right in about them, and talk about derbies.
Okay. Right, so is that safe to do in this city? Aye?
Oh, aye, definitely. I mean,
I suppose if you know a derby, it's going to be this one, and I'd say we're probably authorised to talk about derbies.
Oh, we're definitely qualified to talk about derbies.
So, taking it back to start, what does a derby mean to you? What constitutes a derby?
Right, so I was trying to find a more academic, somebody who could put it a bit more eloquently than what I could. And I found a quote, right? So it's...
I thought you were going to say you couldn't find anybody.
No. Poet here, I don't know what. So it's an article by a fella called Matt Galt, and he's wrote A Tale of One City, Glasgow, and it was in 2014. And Matt writes, there are football rivalries around the world that are intensified by issues of race, class, politics, and religion. Yep, I definitely agree with that. It's what drives a football match contested between teams from the same city to different heights. Again, I would certainly agree with that part. It gives an edge over your everyday fixture, and a city rivalry, the emotion, ferocity, and sense of pride are all elevated to levels that seem to transcend matters of football. Mm-hmm. Which I think that kind of hits it right on the head. There are definitely social, political.
It ticks every box.
It ticks every box in what he's saying. But it also made me think that we have derbies, right? Mm-hmm. That maybe don't fall into that bracket.
So would that be like, you would call that a rivalry rather than a derby?
I think that it's more that teams where they don't fall into the kind of...
geographical into that sort of derby. So
it may be two teams that are close in proximity, or two teams in one league that are contesting to be at the top.
Yeah.
So I think, the word derby does get thrown about quite a lot, but I think we've got to kind of...
More now in this city now.
Shut up, you fucking arsehole.
Because, so, for example, like Celtic Rangers would be a derby.
Yeah, the Old Firm.
The Old Firm, there you go. But the Man United Liverpool would be a rivalry.
Yeah.
Based on success of club rather than geographical location.
Like in Germany, Dortmund and Munich.
Aye.
There's
no political, probably no major political rivalry, no religion, no race. It's just success.
It's just success, yeah, definitely. I would totally agree with that.
So would you say that's less of a important match then because of that? Because there's nothing based on steeped in history, fan feeling. It's just not hatred, maybe it's just you like to get one over on them rather than you're playing for a cause, basically.
Well, I suppose since we've went there with the conversation, let's start off with that one. Mm-hmm. I don't think that it has the same kind of edge or needle. Yep. You think whenever you sit down, right, to watch, the Old Firm, right, there's certain phrases that get put out, now buzzwords with commentators. Mm-hmm. Like lighting the blue touch paper, and it's like powder keg and all these kind of things.
It's me a beer keg at Bayern. Beer keg.
But I don't see that with Bayern and Dortmund.
If you're a Dortmund fan, you don't beat Bayern, it's not going to ruin your week.
No,
pretty much.
Well, and the only reason that I say this is because we were in Berlin. No, we were in Berlin, right? Mm-hmm. Leaving the city that any of these clubs are free. A couple of years ago, and Dortmund were playing Munich, and we were in the pub, and some Dortmund fans started coming in and sitting down, and the football's coming on. Then some Munich fans were coming in and sitting down on the same pub.
Yeah.
Some of them now like the big beer halls with a
Yeah,
big
yeah,
long.
yeah.
Some of them sharing benches,
Okay.
and we're sitting like. And we're asking some of them, like the ones that could speak English, we're saying,
Is this normal?
what's going on here? And they're like, what do you mean? Like, why are you sitting in a pub with them
Yeah.
watching your team if it's a rivalry? And they went, let's just here to watch the football. And I'm like, he's like, do you know they're at in Scotland?
But again, that's what I think, because we'll get tourists into the shop and they'll say that's what makes the Glasgow derby special, because
No fun.
of that. They'll fall firm because of that, because there's like that second nature to us that wouldn't happen. And I think the derbies kind of need that to be classed as a proper derby. There needs to be more to it than football, I would say.
Because, you know, I've just quickly went on to some notes about this, and the first thing it says, the Clásico, as it's called there, it's similar only in name, so it's something like El Clásico or the Superclásico in Argentina. It's similar only in name, and it's no derby likes of the Milan or the Old Firm or the Northwest, Northeast derbies of England. It is simply based and rooted in a rivalry
Top two teams,
because of success in the top two teams. So I think that you could maybe take that one down as being a rivalry rather than,
yeah,
I mean, if they can all go and sit in the same pub and watch it.
true. So I'd say from the ones we're probably going to talk about, that's the mildest one, I would say.
Yeah, so if we're going to rank these,
Yeah,
like, how many? We've got a wee list here, haven't we?
maybe talk about like 6 or 7 or
Yeah, so
if you can put up with us for 6 or 7, we'll talk about
I think that we'll rank that as like
that. Aye.
quite vanilla.
Diet derby.
Diet derby, no added sugar derby.
Yeah.
Right, okie dokie. Well, let's dive into something that's got a bit more about it. Where would you like to start?
I would start at the Derby di Capitale for
Right.
Roma Lazio.
Roma Lazio.
That's
right.
the one I would go for.
Mm-hmm.
So again, there's not a... Probably ticks a few more of the boxes than that one.
Right.
It is a fully fledged 100% derby, two teams from the same city. So it ticks that box. There is also an added incentive that they share a stadium. So that's like the Milan teams, that kind of gives it the edge. Like you said, Milan don't even call it the same name when they play. That's how divisive it is. So, but I would say, obviously, I think it obviously is enhanced by the fact that neither team is really successful. So I think that makes the derby even bigger, because that's basically all they've got. That's what I would say. Because it's the first fixture I would always look for at season is when we play Lazio. And I think that makes it, because neither team is... Lazio had kind of some success in like your kind of early 2000s when they could have Mendieta and Crespo and all that kind of team, but they've always been, one's either been kind of up or down, so that's been the game that
quite
everybody...
literally swings and roundabouts.
Pretty much.
Seesaw.
Aye. And I think Roma have obviously won the league, the Scudetto in 2000, so... And since then, there's not really been much for either team to talk about.
Lazio's kind of sunk a wee bit
Fallen
more,
away a
kind of
bit.
in the doldrums, haven't they?
Yeah.
Do you know that Rome, the city, so it's the city of Rome, and then the area that encompasses Rome
Like a suburb, isn't it? Like
is Lazio. So Lazio's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the area.
Is it like it's like a business district or something, isn't it, Lazio? I'm sure it's like
I think it's just like now like Strathclyde. No, like that. Now,
Fun do that as well.
it's kind of
It
thing.
looks the
So
same.
that's like the actual region.
Yeah,
That's the region is Lazio,
the region.
and then Roma's a city.
So that's like, what was it? What was it when you used to play Pro Evo? Remember they had the fake names? What was they were called Umbria or something?
Umbria.
Remember? Was it Umbria or something? That's what I always remember that, because I was thinking, is that a place in Rome, the Umbria? But I don't know.
Roberto Larcos.
Larcos, what a play.
Never heard
Streets
of
won't
him.
forget, But yeah, I'd say more, obviously, having players like Totti and stuff, he's like a hate figure for first Lazio fans, and when Di Canio was at Lazio, he was the kind of vice versa of that, and I think that Italian teams have always had that figure that's hated, and that adds to the derby. And I think, like the Old Firm, it starts like the week before as well. Like the papers are full of like derbies coming up. That's big news. Compare it to obviously the German ones. It's not a great deal, but they've got not as much as the Old Firm, like political and stuff like that, but obviously like far like right wing Lazio fans, and that again, Italian is kind of like split, would you say, or it's quite across the board with that kind of thing anyway? Well, it's not like Celtic Rangers, like Protestant Catholic. It's not like that. There's not that in it. So
I don't think in terms of the Italian derbies. So the thing is, weirdly, there's lots of derbies, stroke rivalries.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them are really religious.
Yeah.
A lot of them, they're either social stroke political.
Yeah.
Or falls into geographical. So like Juventus and Napoli hate each other.
Juventus are hated by pretty much everybody, aren't they?
Aye. I think
because Inter are the same. Inter, when you do the research, Inter would rather beat Juventus than Milan. It's not as big a deal.
I think that comes down to mere success.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a rivalry.
That's a rivalry. When I was in Naples, and you walk about like all the shops, and then they've got like wee figurines of Maradona, and they've got all this bits and bobs you can buy. Lot of like you're like tart and tat.
Yeah.
In the tune.
See you, Jimmy hats and that.
Aye. What they have, it's absolutely fantastic, is toilet paper.
Aye.
And every square's got a Juventus badge on it.
Nice.
So yeah, to wipe your ass with a Juve badge. I've seen it again in other cities in the North Italy, and it's just all different teams. But wherever everyone I went round about in Naples was just the Juve badge.
Juve's the best seller.
And it just says Juve murder.
Kind of like Man United, aren't they, back in the 90s? That's why everybody kind of hates Juve. But I would say, obviously, we've got two iconic shirts from, I can't even tell you what that one's. That's actually my screensaver on my phone, this shirt, Totti in this shirt. I just noticed it before we played, but like the sleeves on that shirt, you don't really get more Roma than that.
No.
So the old Inas Italiana, classic sponsor.
I'll just take this one.
The Lazio one's obviously iconic in terms of it being like a classic Umbro shirt, but what do you think of when you look at that shirt?
Oh, Gaza. Right away. Gaza all day long. With a slick back hair.
So again, like the rivalry that he was the Totti of that kind of era, because he was a big signing, foreigner coming in. You kind of need that to make it a big game.
The shirts, I mean, when you talk, let's put that back up. When we are talking rivalries and we're talking like shirts and stuff, as soon as you mention a derby, a certain rivalry, you do go to the shirt as well.
Yeah.
Or a player in that shirt, you think like right away. I actually, in my head when I first seen that, I was thinking Batistuta for some reason, but Batistuta didn't play for
after he joined the Scudetto winning season in 2000.
2000, aye. As I scream it, look the collar,
aye,
as well.
That's what Brendan noticed. Totti's got the collar up in the picture on my phone as well. He would only have been, I'm going to say early 20s when that was out. But I'd say that's my favourite Roma strip.
So obviously you're a Roma fan, you're a big Roma fan. What would you probably say is the best derby or derby moment that you can recall?
Probably be the one where Totti wasn't getting a game, so Spalletti was the manager, I think, for his like second spell. And first spell he was there, Totti was his man, he was his go-to, like pure love in between him and Totti. And then the second time he come back, he basically banished him from the team. So he was getting on 4 minutes, 5 minutes at the end. And it was, I'm trying to remember the year, so the Totti strip that we had in episode 1, it was that season. But Totti came on with, I think it was 1-0 to Lazio, or 2-0 to Lazio, and Totti came on with 10 minutes to go. Must have been 1-0, he scored a penalty and then scored the second. And then I'm pretty sure that was the one that he did, you'll have seen the one where he does the selfie with the curver suit. Brendan's going to kindly put that picture up here, maybe Francesco. That's
definitely one of the ones, isn't it? Look.
So that was my favourite one, and that's a kind of recent one and the kind of old when Totti was kind of getting to the end of his career. But I'd say that was my favourite, just because kind of what I spoke about when the Roma played Man City and Totti scored. Everybody was writing him off. That's him finished, and then he comes on and makes a big impact and says basically, "I'm still here."
I get it up you
pretty much.
Since we're in Italy. And it's not like you and I are biased towards
quite a lot of Italian teams there.
The rivalries, derbies, let me say, there is quite a lot. But we'll stay there now, and we can have a look at. Well, we've got Inter.
Yeah,
we mentioned Inter and AC. at the top, and that's again, San Siro ablaze. That, whenever I think of the Milan derby, I think of that image, Materazzi and Rui Costa, and it's in the background.
Yeah.
And it's just like
wild.
It's like Blackpool and meth with the pyro. And it's funny, that's an iconic image, right? But Rangers did that away up at Dundee, man.
That's true.
But I'm trying to think. I did have a Milan shirt on here.
Right at the end.
Yeah, right at the end.
So that reminds me of Champions League one.
This one?
Aye. I would say like Donadoni and those kind of players, that reminds me of.
Aye, this is the early 90s, this one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The name set on the back, it, mind you. I don't know what I'm turning around for. It's like the Milan derby for me is, it's a strange one, right? So this is where, when I think of these kind of derbies and you look at players crossing over.
Yep. Happens a lot there.
There's so many players that have played between the Milan clubs early years.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to be that
I
don't think anybody's moved it. They're kind of like the pure, like the zenith of their career.
Like the Figo, that kind of thing. There's not been like that, but there's been like your man. He's done it where he played for.
Pirlo, AC. But I'm talking about. He was. But I'm even guys like Seedorf, Zlatan, Ronaldo.
Ronaldo was kind of a big one, because I would say he was the one. That was the one I remember being quite publicised, because he was such a hero at Inter, and he'd kind of left it so long. It was kind of like he had no option to go.
But there's so many, and I'm trying to really rack my brain now. I'm saying there's so many.
Guy, the left back, he was like Italian. He played a few caps. Cocco or something. Francesco Cocco.
Yep.
He played for both. Tribo West. I think he played for both.
Did Edgar Davids play for Inter?
No.
No, he played for AC and he played for Juventus.
He played for AC in the youth kind of young days. He played a couple.
In his early career, he was at AC.
There must be others as well. If you can think of any others, put them in the comments.
Let us know. But that's a thing. So see it in these rivalries. So look at I mentioned Juventus and Napoli.
Yeah.
The years where Maradona signed, and they started pushing towards that Scudetto, and Juventus was a big one, and they were going up there, and it was like full of hatred, and it was such the terms with the fans, the kind of the level of aggression and all that kind of stuff between the two teams.
You keep going. Sorry, I was going to say, just when you reminded me, that's another thing that the rivalry in Italy's got. Ultra groups.
No,
it's like
that was
steroid ultras. Do you know what I mean? They're like proper ultras.
But the Ferrara, Chio Ferrara, what his first name is, he at the end of his contract left Napoli and went to Juventus.
Oh, did he?
So that one,
I didn't even know he played for Napoli.
Aye, mate.
Because he's a Juventus legend.
And he went. He was their man. He was like Neapolitan and all that, and then he went up there. That kicked up a bit of stink.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other ones, because it's weird, because again, no two teams for the same city. Roberto Baggio,
I was going to say we're talking about that. Yeah.
Signed for Fiorentina, and then was sold to Juventus. I mean, there was people outside panning the windies. Yeah.
That's been happening to Fiorentina for years. I mean, my dad's a Fiorentina fan, and he always says Juventus take all their best players. That's what happens. But Baggio's the one. That was the one, because again, like Ferrara, he was the guy. And they just cherry pick.
But my point is, it's no like a proper
like a hatred. It's just because of that moment.
It's because they dislike their clubs and as a rivalry, but it's not like a direct city.
You could say the same for Rangers and Aberdeen. There's a proper hatred between those two clubs based off that. Was it Ian Durant? Was it the tackle? Was it Ian Durant?
Aye, Ian Durant.
That finished his career. So that's not really based off of anything other than that. It's obviously continued over years, but that's one that's not a derby, it's a rivalry.
It's a rivalry, definitely. But again, I think that would have been that was because where Aberdeen were at that point,
they were
how successful they were and how good they were, and so that comes merit to have rivalry because they had quality and why beat them, okay. And then obviously that didn't help. I mean, no, that was a horrific challenge. I'm trying to just, while we're in Italy, just try to cover all the bases here.
What about Samp?
Yep. So Sampdoria have got a city derby.
Let's look at my shoulder here.
Yeah. This is like my favourite Sampdoria strip that I own. So it is.
Well, that's my favourite away shirt. The Samp one, but I've got the other sponsor.
Right.
One, but that shirt's one of my favourite.
So Sampdoria are based in Genoa. So that is Yep, that is their city rivalry. And I don't know if anybody's noticed, right, but you see the similarity between
True.
what's going on here.
If you're a viewer, we did speak about this in a previous episode.
Yep. So in episode 1, we done a mystery shirt, and Brendan kindly flung 2 shirts at us. And I was speaking about the links between Boca Juniors and Genoa. So this is the 2024 Genoa away strip, and this is the one that was kind of homage to the Genovese immigrants that left Italy, went to Argentina, and started.
We would have had this one in last week's episode for Kappa, but I only got it today.
So there you go. So that's another intercity rivalry.
So again, a rivalry more than a derby would be if we go to France.
Right.
So you've got Marseille and Paris Saint-Germain.
Right. Oh, where have I got? I've got PSG.
So again, that's kind of similar, ticks a few boxes in terms of lower class, upper class. That's the rivalry based on the class system.
So Marseille is in the south. It's a port city.
Yep.
It is. It's very much like Naples.
Yep.
You know, quite edgy, gritty. A bit like Glasgow.
Yep.
Whereas obviously PSG's in the capital.
Yep.
You know. Obviously now the fact that PSG's get hundreds of dosh, so that brings economics into it. Would you say then that Marseille would probably be more seen as a kind of a working class?
Definitely say so, aye.
Kind of team?
Yeah, 100%.
Whereas like PSG's a bit more kind of elitist?
Yeah, perhaps. I would say so, and even more so now, like you said, the financial backing. But Marseille's always been the working class, the people's kind of club. Like you said, it being edgy, we're on holiday next week and looking for a city break, and I'd said to my dad, I quite fancy going to see the Velodrome in Marseille, and he's like, don't. I said it's worse than Naples. He said they're like dangerous. Like he said it's really edgy. Probably he's like too edgy to probably go visit. But that's my French team, and I'd love to go and see a game at the Velodrome, especially when Matt O'Reilly's there now as well. So
all right,
that's where he is.
Know that one.
He's at Marseille now as well. But I've always liked the Marseille kit.
They have some real iconic ones. I'm no mad on Marseille.
No,
I've got main reasons.
But again, the strip from the Champions League when they won it, like Basil Botley and that kind of era. That I was going to sorry to bring that up, but that strip is one of the most classic, most famous football shirts. And again, that
is a screamer, to be fair.
They were successful back then, so that's probably where some of that rivalry kind of comes from.
Aye, because obviously PSG weren't they always.
No.
But then again, saying that, when I look at this
they were always in the Champions League, but never a threat really.
When I look at this kit, and I'm like, this Ronaldinho, Rangers played PSG. I'm pretty sure they wore this kit.
And he was a wee skinny guy.
Aye, Ronaldinho, young Arteta, JJ Okocha, Pochettino, Heinze. I mean,
who was that the goal? Did they have the goalkeeper? Was he Bernard Lamar, or was that after or before that? Remember him? He had like dreads. He looked like a real grandpa.
He was like
he used to wear like leggings and all that.
He was a backup keeper for Barthez, wasn't he?
Lamar.
Imagine they two crackpots as your keepers, man.
He was mental.
A couple of absolute fucking head cases.
Who else was in that team? That's funny though, because you only really see Ronaldinho on the back of that shirt when you see it.
Aye. Especially obviously with a massive kind of.
You forget Arteta. Why would he have played with PSG?
He was on loan
from Barca.
So he was on loan for PSG, for Barca to PSG. We played him at Ibrox, and
did you sign him after that?
We took him the year after it.
Right, okay.
So we did, because I think Advocate may have still been a manager, and then it was moved upstairs.
Yeah.
And McLeish came in and they're like, by the way, you want to get a grip of this boy.
I think the PSG and Marseille is one of their rivalries that I don't think players cross the divide much. I think that's one of the ones that you maybe because that's the kind of area Marseille is, but it's like, do that at your own risk, basically.
Your own peril, kind of thing.
I think that's one that's a no-go, basically, for them. Anything else catching your eye?
Well, I was actually thinking about, I talked about Juventus quite a bit. I've got a Juventus kit behind me, 2014 pink away one. No, we don't have a Torino kit here.
Nah.
But I can tell you a story about that rivalry. So obviously Torino is the city, and Juventus is obviously a football team within the city.
That was another Pro Evo one, but they're not called something Torino in Pro Evo, Juventus. Or Turin Black or something like that, wasn't it?
So Torino is a club, and Juventus was founded by, I believe, students. I think it was a couple of years after.
The English students as well, no? 'Cause every Italian team seems to have.
There was an English connection, and that's why they've got the black and white stripes, because the fella that went out there and was helping get them set up went back and get Notts County shirts, and that's how they got the stripes.
Yep.
And the pink shirts came. So this isn't just a random thing that Juventus started doing pink shirts.
You told us, was it? I don't know if it's last week or maybe not even told that, but they did the new stadium, when Juventus opened the stadium, they invited Notts County to play the first game.
Right, I didn't tell you that one, but that's
they opened the stadium, Notts County, and played Juventus.
So that's where that relationship came from. And the pink kits came from a laundry mistake.
A mistake, yeah.
Aye, something was...
a glorious mistake.
They were washed out and they ended up with pink kits. That's the way. Anyway, Juventus, if you think of Juventus and you think of Torino, no, you would probably say that Juventus is by far the bigger team, most successful team, all that kind of stuff. But Torino used to be called the Grande Torino. Right?
Yeah.
And Torino. Because for a spell in their history, they were the most successful club in Italy.
In fact, I think pretty much the whole Italian team was Torino.
Yep. I think they had 7 or 8 of the Italian national team playing for Torino at that time, and it dominated Italian football. And there is a hall that sits just above Torino, and on top of that there's a church, and the hall's called Superga. And the Grande Torino were playing an exhibition match somewhere in Portugal. I'm going to say Lisbon, right? Okay. If it wasn't Lisbon, it's going to be Porto, wasn't it? On the way back, the plane flew into the back of the hull because of rain and fog and all that kind of stuff. So it flew at the back of the hull, and massive disaster, massive loss of life between players and plane staff and stuff like that. And
plane staff or plane
and staff. Sorry,
staff. No, I thought you meant plane staff.
Plane staff. No. So there's a big monument,
right?
Not up the top of the hill. So there is. I've been up and seen it. It's actually quite. You've got all the different scars for all the different clubs, and it's it tells you all about the coaches, and it tells you about. It's not just the players. It tells you all as a piece there about all of the staff.
Everybody was
because it wasn't just the players, even though they were. The kind of the
stars,
the stars and the pride athlete, and X amount of World Cup winners. They put a bit of time into explaining who.
Because there was a few survivors as well, wasn't there? But they were never really the same after the.
No, that was kind of the end of them, so to speak. I mean, as crass as that sounds, but my friend Sam. So the planes crashed into the side of the mountain, debris, fucking all other place and that. And Sam's aunt or great aunt, I think, went out, and people came out of their homes and went up to the hull to see what the commotion is and all the rest of it. And she picked up a fragment of the plane, took it home, as you do. And then this bit of plane just sat in her house for years down the line. Somebody was speaking about it. She went, I've got a bit of that plane sitting there on the worktop, and donated it to the museum in Torino.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Which I think it's still there. So his auntie, or great auntie, had a bit of the the Grande Torino
She's a
playing.
petty thief. There we go.
So that's a wee bit of Hindley. But that is a contest then in terms of two teams and the rivalry
a
between
rivalry.
two teams.
Yeah.
That kind of knocked the wind out their sails. So then,
And they've never really recovered
no,
for that.
I don't think so. I think because they never had the same kind of financial clout as well
Yeah.
as what Juventus had. That knocked the rivalry right out of that. So even though it's two clubs for the same city, as soon as that kind of contest is a game and that
It's
was it.
nothing.
That was fucked. It was
Yeah.
done. Whereas, like say some of the other ones, I think when it's competitive.
Because I was going to say that, I always think it's weird when we were talking about a rivalry and a derby. I always think it's strange that when you have two teams for one city, that's not that rivalry. So like say like Espanyol and Barcelona, like there's not, in like Torino Juventus now, it's not, although they're from the same city and there should be this old firm like mentality, it's not, just because of the success isn't there for one. So it's almost seen like, well, we don't really care about them because they're not a threat. But that's what I always think, if it's a two city one, it should be the biggest game.
Aye, definitely.
But I think success obviously comes into it for one, as I said. So Graham, we've spoken about Italian rivalries and derbies. So we're going to go a wee bit closer to home and look at kind of English Premier League derbies and rivalries and what they kind of mean and some of the shocks on them. Where do you want to start?
Well, I'm trying. What I can see.
So you've got North London.
North London. So we've got, right, let's do North London since you get a hand on it.
The wee David Ginola one.
So do you think Ginola when you see that?
Aye.
I don't.
I think it's on the floor. It's no Ginolas, it wouldn't fall off a hanger with it. Wouldn't it be that
That'd be
size?
too cool. By the way, give me just what we're talking about Ginola. How fucking good was he?
But do you remember him? Was it Villa fans called him fat? And he took his top off after he scored the goal. He was ripped.
Pure ripped. Do you remember that one he scored for?
He was dying to take his top off. But
Was it Newcastle and the ball comes there? He just goes like that, dump up one.
aye.
And you see the guy putting his foot in, he's going to do him. He's desperate to do him. And he's just cool as you like. Bump, air him, volley, full volley, man.
Do you know that he nearly signed for Celtic before he went to Newcastle?
Right? No, I
He,
didn't know that.
literally the day before he signed for Newcastle, he was at Barrowfield.
So they took away Barrowfield and just went, fuck this, I'm out.
Pretty much, Tommy Burns showed him Barrowfield and he's like, nah, I don't fancy it. And then he went to Newcastle. 100% he was at Barrowfield. What could that be now? What have you got from the other side, North
London. Oh, jeez. Oh.
Dislocated shoulder again?
Yep.
So who do you think of in that shirt then?
So completely different era, right? There's so many. But I would say Ashley Cole. Funny enough, just because, well, playing left back, I'd always look at the left backs. But for me, this is Ashley Cole or
Mine's his niche.
Niche. What position he play?
Niche. Niche.
I don't know. There's a few because obviously you've got like your Vieiras and all that.
Yep.
Ray Parlour for some weird reason pops in.
I would say Jose Antonio Reyes. Remember the boy? I would say him.
Aye, what a player. Left
The season that he had, that was unbelievable.
This is the Invincible.
I think so.
Invincibles season.
Maybe the one after. Might be.
Do you know what I've got?
Same sponsor, I think it was the same.
I've got two mates. So I have who are Arsenal fanatics, and I mean fanatics, and not one of them stay in London. So Pete Brady, shout out to Pete. Pete stays in Belfast.
Well, that's weird because I was going to say Liam Brady. That was because that's why a lot of Celtic fans are us.
Right, so this is
That just set you up for a cracking story.
Well, I was going to set myself up, but you just
Sorry.
jumped right into the deep end, didn't you?
Sorry to spoil it.
2 feet.
Rewind, we'll go back. And then start again.
So I've got two mates, right, that are Arsenal fans. So my mate Pete Brady stays there in Belfast, and people travel like a good couple of times a year to go and to watch the Arsenal. So well, and I've also got my other mate Curtis Powers, who is based in Brooklyn, New York,
Austin's brother.
and his dad was Irish, and his favourite player was Liam Brady.
Was it?
And that's why he's an Arsenal fan. And he literally flew air for Brooklyn.
Not like Dennis Bergkamp.
No,
He doesn't.
no, no paddled.
He
He'll
doesn't
fly
fly.
for Brooklyn and go for a
Excuse me.
little weekend in London to watch Arsenal, and then fly back.
10 grand a ticket.
Head
And
case.
Mental. So, even further to home,
Further to home.
closer to home. You knew
Further
what I
to
meant.
home.
You knew what I meant. So that, and what have you got to rival that?
Right, so
You got a medium?
have I got medium to rival that? I'm. We're going to go two tops.
So this is a derby and
This is
and
a city.
rivalry,
This is a city derby.
literally.
Yep. Yeah, quite literally. And it's again, so this is one where you had a city derby, but I don't think there was the same kind of spice or needle about it
Because they were mints.
at this point because, well, these
Man City.
Man City, aye.
Yeah.
You know, welcome to Manchester.
Yep.
And that's when it really started becoming, you know,
Again, that was that one success.
yeah,
Aye.
definitely. But in contrast, right?
But Man City are if you're from Manchester, a proper Man City, you're a Man City fan, aren't you?
Aye.
Most are.
I would say that the derby or the rivalry between Liverpool and Man United is far greater and far more intense. Now, there's no political
Nah.
agenda. There's nothing really religious. Financially, the two teams have been similar. I know Man United are a bit more clout,
They've both had their periods of.
but they both had their
being,
periods. But I would say there's a lot more bitterness.
But I would say that's the older brother of Aberdeen Rangers.
Right.
That's where I would kind of say that in terms of where the rivalry comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, no tackle, but I would say that it's built on success
Like
rather than City.
again, just think of football fans. Got a friend Neil, who's a Man United fan, and absolutely hates Liverpool
Yeah.
with a passion.
Yeah.
You know,
That was always a game you would look at, and it was always a Super Sunday. Was always that
actually,
game.
I'm not going to. I sent out doing a bit of spamming, you know, with this shirt when we done the Oasis one,
Yeah.
and it was just like, you know, get on this, blah blah blah. And Neil says, "I'm no sharing that because you've got a Man City tap on."
That's how bad it was.
I was like, so that's. I think again, I don't think many of the English derbies
Yeah.
or rivalries are.
Because you would say Liverpool Everton's well, that's obviously a derby.
That's
but
a City, but the Liverpool and Everton fans used to sit together.
That's weird.
They used to sit in the same stands.
Strange.
You know, and obviously as the games evolved and stuff like that, they put a stop to that.
Yeah.
You know, obviously an Everton fan or a Liverpool fan would be maybe better place to tell us why.
Yeah.
If there was, you know, a kind of.
I think the English derbies are quite boring. I don't think there is a proper, like, I just don't know what it is. I don't think there's
Probably in lower leagues. See, in lower leagues, there'll be ones that's got a lot more spice and a lot more needle and a bit more about them. But
there's nothing behind any of them. That's what, they don't, like we said, they tick the boxes. There's those, like, political, religious, there's nothing really there. But
financial and geographical, I'd probably say are the two. I mean, compare and contrast to,
why don't we'll turn it up a notch then?
Turn it up a notch, aye, definitely. Because I was just about to say, let's start getting.
We'll go on holiday.
Aye, because we're running out of time here, I know, so let's get right in the nitty gritty here.
And I'm wanting to show off all the shirts.
Aye.
That's the one.
I can't get my horn round that way. So I'll just leave that at that bit then.
So would we say third biggest derby in the world?
Yeah, I would say this is up there. Now, this starts ticking boxes in terms of a derby. There's geographical, there's success,
Political.
But politics is a massive, the main mover for this one, and that all comes from the reign of Francisco Franco.
Yep.
And so what would have been? It's kind of like right wing fascists.
Yep.
Kind of they overthrew the Spanish monarchy.
Yeah. Like dictators.
I was a dictator. I do have this in my notes, but I can't be bothered going through reading all the text.
Maybe they can't be bothered hearing it anyway. So
but they really kind of like down with the Catalans.
Yep.
kind of thing. And obviously that is a region of Spain that has long fought for independence
state,
and kind of autonomy.
They've got their own language as well, haven't they?
They've got their own kind of dialect,
Yeah.
And you know, the kind of the timer, Franco. I think I've got it in here. Like that tinsel's doing my.
I was going to say no prizes for guessing who picked the tinsel. So straight out the Rangers shop last year.
the blue balls, no that. So
the blue balls. My mind went somewhere.
Oh, brilliant. I can't concentrate now.
My arm's getting sore.
They've really started, you know, kind of try to like push the Catalans down Barcelona. It's all about kind of humiliating them and he financially backed Real Madrid to be a success during that kind of time period. Obviously, he was fucked out the door.
Yeah.
Tata, Franco, pack your bags. And that all kind of changed, but that is where the origins of this rivalry.
Yeah. Again, this one's more built on loads of stuff because in terms of success, both are massively successful. So that's a difference from some of the ones I've spoken about.
Yeah.
There's a footballing rivalry as well.
But it's one of the ones. So this is probably one of the first ones that I remember. Like really remember because
to watch, like you want to watch.
Well, not even to watch, but it's the first one I remember there being a right absolute stink.
Yeah.
In a player transfer, and that was obviously Luis Figo.
Yeah.
When Luis Figo was the kind of he
was the guy, wasn't he?
He was the guy at Barcelona. He was the man. Like, and he goes to Real Madrid.
He looked better in the Madrid kit, but I think
it's because it's all white and it's a bit,
just looked better.
You know,
and the fact that he did the transfer means he was a Real Madrid player more. Because you wouldn't do that if you're a Barcelona player.
I suppose.
But you've got Luis Enrique. He plays for Real Madrid.
Aye, but it's not the same, mate. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same because he went to Barca, probably.
No.
That's probably why.
But what I mean is but I'm just talking about purely for the point of that was the first time
he wasn't the guy
that a player went that was at that status and elevated to that status by the fans and his own performances as a football player.
Yeah.
And
Samuel Eto'o as well.
Went to
he played for both.
Yep. But again, he wasn't
not massive.
The guy. Mm-hmm. And it was like the treatment he got, man.
Yeah.
I remember watching one of the games and he's early to take a corner.
Yeah.
And it's just getting hurled at him all angles. And see, to be fair to him, he stands there and takes it. He's just kind of like that.
Because that was the pig's head one, wasn't it? The famous one. Where somebody chucked a pig's head at him. Remember that?
I don't know, you've been watching The Godfather. That's a horse's head, isn't it?
Aye. No, somebody chucked a pig's head at him. At that kind of moment, that.
How'd you get that into a football match?
I don't know. They probably sell it. It's probably on that spit. Somebody's like, he's a heat, mate.
How much for the heat?
I think people were actually buying stuff for the kiosk just to chuck it in.
Get the heat. But then you see all the posts and all the right gear, then they're gone in at half time and they've got the shields up and all that.
Still trying to take a corner.
Aye, unbelievable.
That's one of the first memories I've got of football. I've been like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, do you know what I mean? That's just wild.
But
Folk are trying to play football.
You think that's wild, right?
Aye.
Let's talk about this one.
The second biggest.
This is the second biggest one in the world.
So. Yeah.
And I do need to get the information up for this one because it's. I mean, I'm not going to go right through all this, right? But you know, there's murders and there's crushes and there's disasters and there's all sorts in the Superclásico. That's not even the football, man. That's
so that was a question that I was wanting to ask you was,
right?
Do you think that rivalries and derbies need an element of or a suspected violence to make them to like level them up?
Right. Well, while I'm answering that, you want to fix that? That's Dane Man and go fix these shirts.
What is that?
I don't know. They're all hanging the wrong way.
I don't know.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, man. I just couldn't.
That reel was going for 5 seconds.
So, I think that...
Does that add to the suspense?
Right.
It's a difficult one because obviously it's not something that you want to see.
I think that anybody that goes to a football match should go to a football match and be able to watch it and be safe and enjoy themselves and go home, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think that there should be people getting their head kicked in a football match and stuff like that outside a ground. I do think that thing, that feeling in the air.
Because it's almost like this might kick off. You don't want it to kick off.
Exactly, but it's just that tension, that feeling that at any moment something will go. But that comes for the stands and transcends and kind of moves into the pitch.
How much it means to the people.
Exactly, and when you see it on the pitch, it's like kind of symbiotic relationship between the players and the crowd, and it goes one way and it comes back.
Yep.
And I think a proper derby, a true derby, needs that
space,
wee element. It's something could go ugly, where it's tackles, where it's
people get shot at these games, all the time.
It's not. I mean, you don't get me wrong. I mean, you see the fans and you see the displays and you see.
So it wasn't that good a derby. There was only 2 dead. I mean, it wasn't that good.
You know,
well, next year, they better next.
See,
year.
when I was a boy, wasn't there a pig seed they were chucking? Some River Plate fans.
An actual.
But again, so that's no a religious rivalry, or that's more social economics
class system,
class kind of system. Boca is they were both founded in the same area.
Yeah.
The Boca.
So again, that kind of ticks the box of the city.
Yeah. They're both
founded.
They're both founded in the same area, and 1905, and a couple of years later for River Plate is on the badge. No,
I was going to say, how did you know that? That's research,
mate. And then I think 1925, River Plate moved to a more affluent area.
Yep.
And then they had started getting the nickname Los Millonarios or Millionaires or whatever pronunciation somebody wants to use. And they had the 3Gs or the 4Gs, and it was sort of certain ways of playing
football,
lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. So it became a social divide between the clubs, and that again gave it that mere spice, that mere needle, and that wee bit of hatred.
And then you also had Maradona in the mix as well.
Aye. Do you know how River Plate got their name?
No.
So the river, wherever it goes into the docks, it goes into like Boca. The English translation was the River Plate. So that's what they used to write and used to stamp on the shipping crates, the containers, when they were taking them into the docks.
Right.
And when they were forming the club, they just took the pronunciation, English translation, which I don't even think's right.
Right.
And just the River Plate, and they went, all right,
we'll go with that.
Call it. Boom. That's
Excuse me.
the name for.
Interesting. But there was actually a boy that comes into the shop, and he kind of tours like different countries, and he always posts a picture of like the shirt that he's wearing in the place. But he actually went to the Bombonera. You know what the Bombonera stands for? It's a Boca Juniors stadium's called the Bombonera. It means the chocolate box. That's what it means, apparently.
Right.
Don't know why.
I was going to say, why
I don't know why.
I
didn't click the next page. I just looked at that. But so he actually said it's the only stadium in the world that he's actually visited, and he felt like it was like a spiritual. He said he's like felt emotional walking up there, because he said it was just such an experience, and he said I didn't even get to go inside it. He said it's when you take into consideration like the social deprivation in that area, and he said that the Boca fans are obsessed by the club. Like, see how I was saying it doesn't ruin your week if Bayern don't win. It's like that ruins your year if you don't win.
I suppose for a lot of people that's all I've got.
That's what it is.
That's when you see like how much football means to people as well.
Have you seen that video of the wee boy? Remember was it 2 years ago? When he sold his dad. He's screaming at the camera. He's like, I sold my bike, I sold my PlayStation. He's like, come on, a Boca.
That's
amazing. And he's like 8 or something.
Aye.
And he knows exactly what it means. That was a good video. But and you see it like, was it like the flares and all that, and it's just
the
big
flags that come down.
It's just different level.
Aye, definitely. I mean, we're obviously going to go. There's only one place we're going next. That we're going to say is the number one.
Yeah.
I'd
definitely say that's a rival derby with the two.
But when you look at the fans in comparison, and they piss away at everybody else. Let's be fair. They're just.
I think they actually do that in the stadium as well. Piss on each other.
They're next level. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think they tick every box.
Player that's played in that game for River Plate And for Boca,
Tell me.
plays for Celtic, don't know. Sarachi. So he played for River against Boca.
Who's that? The wee left back?
Aye. He played for both the teams in both opposing derbies.
Right, so he's played
he did.
and so he's played in that, he's played in all for him.
Yep.
Who's played? Tell me this one.
Michael Laudrup.
No, I've not even asked the
I was
question
just
yet.
trying to. I was getting ahead of myself.
There's no time limit on his counting. Who's played in a Merseyside derby, a Manchester derby, an Old Firm, and whatever Florence their derby is?
Christ. Can Chelsea's?
Yes.
Was it?
Aye.
Mate, I'm impressed with that, to be fair.
Aye.
I've got another one. Who's played for Real Madrid in a 5-0 win against Barcelona and Barcelona in a 5-0 win against Real Madrid?
There's no Figo in it, no.
Nah, it's Michael Laudrup. I just said that.
You didn't get a chance to
It's just for
answering your own questions.
that was just for some context around why I just blurted out Michael Laudrup for no reason.
Right, so we've got to get to top of the pops.
The big one.
The big one.
The Glarby.
The Glarby.
That's what they call it in some circles, eh?
Who?
There's some circles. There's circles.
There's...
The Glarby, telling you.
Aye.
You'll just find any reason not to call it Old Firm.
Right, but it's all for him.
So the Glarby.
It's all for him. Do you know what I mean? I think anybody in their, I was going to say their right mind. I don't mean that, but
none of us are in our right mind that support either of these teams.
No,
so
but it's all for him. So for us, it's easy to say Rangers and Celtic,
Mm-hmm.
but genuinely,
I would say Celtic and Rangers, but
aye, you're always got to.
That's how bad it gets. That's how
petty it
much it means.
It ticks all the boxes. Not always for the best, you know.
Quality, yeah.
You've got. Have you got social? Really?
I would say historically, because that's what Celtic have obviously. They were founded to feed the poor, the immigrants. That was so that, and Rangers are obviously seen as an establishment club. So I would say not more so now, but back then I would say that was a major thing, a class thing.
Obviously religiously again, but at the start wasn't it a major factor?
You said that, yeah. It was more a city.
It was more a city, more a quality thing, you know, because Rangers were an established club, and the first game that was played between the clubs was 1888,
Yep.
and
What
Celtic
was
won.
the score?
You told me in the car.
You tried to forget it already.
5-2.
5-2.
So initially, I think it was more just like a contest on quality and who was the better teams, and obviously, it's mad because this is one thing that really pisses me off at with certain. I'm going to say football fans in inverted brackets, right? Because there's so many people where the football is actually the last thing that matters.
Yep.
You know, the religious things, the political things, all these things that actually have fuck all to do with the game of football.
Yeah.
Or what's put first or prioritised on their relationship with a club when you're like, the football is the first thing. So see the League Cup semi-final.
Yeah.
I was speaking with my mate in the car, right, driving to training, and he says, "What do you make of this incident or that incident? Jink, this should have happened, that should have happened." I was like, "Well, this could have went that way, this could have went that way, blah blah blah." But you know, as like, I'll be totally honest with you. See, after it's all said and done, right, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Because you want an Old Firm where there's red cards, where there's the questionable refereeing decisions, somebody smash somebody and get away with it. And, you know, the first Old Firm game of the season was like walking into a brothel and asking for a kiss.
It was it's terrible.
Right? It was absolutely honking on every level.
But like you said, you were just to take back, like you were saying people care more about the other stuff. It's just, sometimes you're right, it's like it's used as a vehicle for other people to get their frustrations out or to act like anti-disorder, all that kind of stuff. And
it's an excuse.
It's
an excuse to act like a prick.
Yeah.
Can you say can we say prick on YouTube?
They call Brendan prick all the time.
Did I?
No.
Well, no. I've said it 3 times now anyway, do you know what I mean? So it's just gave us so many like historical, memorable. Do you know what? See, because as much as I sit there and go, all these things, it's got nothing to do in a game of football. It's all they things that
Adds to it.
and gives it the spice and makes you like pure. Like, so see for 90 minutes, obviously I'm a Rangers fan, you're a Celtic fan. A lot of my good mates are Celtic fans, right? I'll not speak to them.
Yeah.
You know, before it or after it sometimes.
Well, I see there was an interview on Line the other day, and it was about a wee girl was interviewing Scott Brown.
I seen that.
See it?
It actually, as a player at Celtic, I could not stand him.
Yeah.
Hated the guy.
Yeah.
Fucking hated the sight of him, man. The way he carried on. The first thing I'd say is when you looked at the way Celtic fans loved him.
I was going to say that's music to my ears.
Naturally, I know, but that's what he was trying. He's got the reaction for me that he was looking for.
Exactly.
Because I go, like, he's getting no class, and he's that's what he was going for.
Yeah.
But see, listening to him speak, I've got a lot of respect for him as a man, as a person.
Yeah.
You know, and the way he speaks about it is it kind of elevates their way of thinking as players.
Yeah.
Is so far removed.
But you like to hear that as well, that they kind of go into their zones because they know that game is massive.
Aye.
Like they don't act the way they normally act with guys that they've known since they were tots. Like they don't do that. It means so much more. It was quite a good interview. I quite enjoyed that one.
So what's your favourite memory or moment in an Old Firm?
It's difficult for me because there's been so many. So the 6-2 game, Martin O'Neill's first Old Firm game.
2001?
2000, I think. I think 2000. It was one of it was maybe like 4th, 5th game of the season. So it came quite quick. And obviously Celtic were kind of in the doldrums at that time, and it was people said that was like a changing of the guard moment, even though Rangers scalped them the next one. But that being 3-0 up after like 15-20 minutes or something, actually my dad, he thought he was going to have a heart attack, and I think the third goal,
Fernando Rickson thought he was going to have a heart attack. And he get whipped after 25, man, for Craig Moore, because Bobby Petr tore him inside out.
He did, he took the ball. But I'm sure after the third goal we ended up like 4 rows in front, just because everybody was going mental. Couldn't believe it. And that was like Celtic had spent a bit of money, Chris Sutton had signed like the day before, all that kind of stuff. So that's probably my most, and then obviously Larsson's goal. That's probably the most iconic Celtic goal ever.
I've got to admit, that was...
And a good keeper, and that's massive.
You watch it, and I think like two guys tracking him back, if I remember rightly, and he can't get near him.
No.
He can't. See, in my head, watching it back now, like, you think to yourself, why would they not foul him? Because he had Armour coming back, and he had...
it's like Sutton, it's like a long ball to Sutton. He knows it,
Quarterman's in about there and on. You're like, why you no? Because back then, man, you
get away with it.
You get away with stuff like that, but you can't get near him.
No.
And then the one, he obviously pegs Quarterman, and you go
to do that, to try that, because that ball could have bobbled, and imagine that bobbled. And
it's the way you finish it.
Goes
Obviously, like you say, his Kloss was a great goal. The one thing I will say that we've always had.
Good goal.
It's been good goalkeepers, but he made them look.
That was one
meekly average
in the 90s. Like Andy Gorham, I think Celtic called him the flying pig, but he was like Celtic would play really well, and he'd make 5 or 6 world class saves, and Rangers would win 1-0 or something. It was he was brilliant.
Was there no quote Tommy Burns said about Andy Gorham? Something like he said, like, we'll say something on my headstone like Andy Gorham broke my heart or something. There's something Tommy Burns said about him. He's like, he'll come back and...
Can I tell a quick Tommy Burns story?
Go for it. Since you put your horn up.
So it's kind of Rangers based as well. So remember when Walter Smith was the Scotland manager?
Yes.
And he got Tommy Burns in as assistant, and then Ali McCoist was the other assistant, the coaches. So Scotland were doing a say no to sectarianism campaign. Aye. And they were getting the squad picture, and they all had their say no to sectarianism. So Ali McCoist was always late for stuff like that, because he was always like doing whatever, like press and all that stuff. So he was late for the picture, so they're all sitting with the cards, and it's like school benches and stuff, and Ali McCoist sits down and he's like, I've not got a card. it's supposed to say like, anti-sectarianism. So I've not got a card, Tommy Burns says, somebody get this fucking orange bastard a card. So that was brilliant.
But that's so obviously we're talking about like rivalries and hatred, and then how you get into relationships that kind of just where it all kind of just melts away. Tommy Burns, Walt Smith, Alan McCoy, the relationship that they guys had was phenomenal.
Well, they carried the coffin, didn't they? That's,
aye, I think that shows you that
it's beyond football.
It is beyond football, and it is, you know, it's only a game.
Yeah.
But I think that I like seeing stuff like that because you go like that, right? They did a job on the park, and for 90 minutes, you know, the term 90-minute bigot,
it's
or
like you forget
90 minutes you hate that
else,
other person and all the rest of it, and you know, all your kind of all your iron, all your hatred and anger and all this stuff gets piled into.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Star Wars. Let the bitterness run through you.
I've never seen Star Wars.
Never seen Star Wars, no?
Can't stand it.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Right, anyway. But,
so I've not asked you.
Oh, my
favourite?
My favourite Old Firm.
Doesn't need to be a victory for Rangers. Could be anything.
Could be anything. So my birthday is the 3rd of January.
Okay.
So it's every year, by the way. And obviously, historically, that is, you know, the
It's usually the second. I thought
the second or the 3rd. And the 1997 at Ibrox, and it was actually an evening kick-off, if I remember rightly as well. And
there's a bit more spice in an evening one. I love an evening Old Firm game.
I also think that for me, right, the New Year match is the best
That's
one at the mall.
That
is the one.
Yeah.
George Albert's free kick. Obviously,
is that the same one with the Lambert with the teeth? No, is that game?
No, that was like the first one of that season.
Right, okay.
And Lambert slid in, and obviously fucking knocked all his teeth and broke his jaw.
Made them better looking.
Scored a penalty. But for me, Albert's free kick, I'd never seen anything like that before.
That's hammer.
My life, that's hammer. Absolutely phenomenal.
So what was the score that game?
It was 3-1. Eric Bo Anderson came on. We scored first, I think he was equalised. And then Eric Bo Anderson came on and scored 2 in the second half. And I think that was one of the games where Celtic hit the post, hit the bar, Gorham's made, you know, a couple of world class saves. You know, I always remember that one, or for a lot of Old Firm games. So everybody, we talk about like the Walt Smith years and stuff like that. Obviously, there was times where Rangers gave Celtic a down and vice versa.
Yeah.
But there was also games where, like, you know, Celtic's done everything bar score and played phenomenal, and Rangers have went up the park. Like, I remember Laudrup's goal at Parkhead. The ball comes into the Celtic centre half, can't remember what it is. He's chested it down, he's went to take a swipe, he's went to clear it, and he's slipped in his arse. Laudrup's nicked the ball, ran through it and scored. You know, and then Pierre Van Hooijdonk misses a penalty at the other end, and it's like Rangers didn't play well there, but still won. And for a long period under Walter Smith, that really seemed to be...
Yeah, well, that's what they say, form goes out the window in a derby.
Exactly. But, you know, you need to have that winning mentality or that fighting to get out of the line. And, you know, you watch some of the chances and some of the players that Celtic had at that time. But Rangers, I think, more often not seem to get the edge in their games. So I think when you flip it, the other way to more recent times, Celtic's got that now.
The winning mentality.
They've got that winning mentality. They've got the, you know, they might not have...
There's a belief.
Aye. Whereas right now, Rangers don't have...
Disbelief.
Have that. But it's all swings and roundabouts.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? It all goes round in a side. I mean, I know, especially like we playing football with some younger guys and they're Celtic fans and they don't remember the 90s.
Yeah.
Whereas vice versa, or you maybe have guys that's even older.
I try to forget.
That were Celtic fans, still are, and, you know, they lived through the late 60s into the 70s.
Yeah.
And then in the 90s, they were like, what's going on here?
I know.
But it just kind of...
I don't know about you, but I always feel the same nervous going into any Old Firm game. It doesn't matter how well each are playing.
Listen, Rangers...
I think that's so weird, though.
I may know so much the now. Don't get me wrong, actually. Do you know, I think in the last 2 seasons, maybe head-to-heads, Rangers get better head-to-heads. The more wins than what Celtic has.
Yep.
But I never sit and look at it and go like that. I mean, obviously there was a time where I'd be sitting behind the couch. You know?
Yeah.
But even at when I started growing up watching football in the 90s and early 2000s and the mid 2000s, there was never any one point where you'd go on and go like that. We're absolutely doing them. And I think if you did,
it was always opposite.
It was always the opposite. Do you know what I mean? It's always the reverse. I think Dick Advocate's first season, one of the early games was at Parkhead, and you're looking at that Celtic team and going like that. 36-year-old guy Moravchik, who's this dude? Then a couple of other ones starting Mark Birchall up front. And, you know, you're like, right, we've just spent 40 odd million on, Arthur Newman, Van Bronckhorst, Stefan Givars, Kanchelskis. I could go through that full team, and they turn up and fucking scalp you 5-1.
There's no rhyme or reason to it.
No. But that's one of the things that makes it the best.
Yeah. So, spoke about games, what about shirts?
Right.
What would you say in terms of what's your favourite Rangers shirt, or have you got a memory that you've favourite shirt?
So obviously the nostalgia in me when I think of Old Firm Derby, it is all about. I mean, there's fireworks going off. That's
in December. Weird.
I know. It's not like this was filmed, a week after Bonfire. It is December. Look, we've got tinsel and everything.
Right.
It's because fireworks are it's getting meaty.
That's what it is.
It's going off. I think of that 90s Adidas era. When I think of a classic Old Firm.
It's just like it could be somebody getting shot in East End.
It could be it's a Carlton.
Could be.
You know what I mean? So I think Rangers, the classic Adidas kits, this one here is for me is probably one of the best Rangers kits ever produced. I did have the 92, 93 one. That's there somewhere.
What do you think makes it the best kit?
So see the crest gone through, the detail that's actually in the shirt itself, the sleeves.
Yeah.
An embroidered badge, the collar.
If it doesn't have the collar, it's not the same shirt.
Aye, the collar with the Adidas there is everything. But the 90s, so the Rangers shirts from 92 to the 96, 97 season for me are like, and I think the Old Firms of that time period, and for me as a Rangers fan, they're the best.
Yeah.
Because although we were going through a purple patch for 9 in a row.
I thought you were going to say, although you cheated, that was what you were going to say.
No. We'll just edit that back out because he's talking shit again. For me, that was the team that played against Di Canio, Cadet, Lambert. I'm trying to think who else would have used what I had.
Do you know what I think was weird that you talk about the Canyon and Cadet and that? They were only there for like one season. But everybody remembers them like so fondly as like that was prime Celtic, prime Rangers, the rivalry, and they were only Canyon was only there for like 12 months, 13 months, which was weird. Because you think about him as like an icon,
I would say that he was there a lot longer, but for me, they strips.
Yeah.
And it's not just that, they are iconic
That's
kits.
Nostalgia.
And the Celtic kits are good kits as well. Do you know what I mean? And just when you think about prime Serie A, late 80s, early 90s, for me, when I think Scottish football at its height, I think of that period and I think of day kits.
Yeah, I would say that's the best Ranger strip, like aesthetically. I think it's all about the collar. Because it is that, even like the goalkeeper strips had that, didn't they, in that time? And it's like, it just kind of screams like the kind of the 90s.
What for you with the Celtic kit then?
So I would say that one's definitely up there because, like you said about Adidas, like Celtic are always synonymous with kind of Umbro shirts, and I always say to people in the shop, like the Umbro shirts feel like football shirts. Like they don't feel like the ones that you get now that are like t-shirts and gym shirts. Like, it's like that feels like it's got a bit of something to it. So I would say that's definitely up there because the game you mentioned, like the Moravchik game, that's an iconic one for that. Celtic have always had better kits when they've had terrible teams. That's the way I kind of look at it.
Right.
The
so
best kits,
your Bumblebee kit,
the Bumblebees,
and stuff like that.
the 93, 95, 95, 97, like they've always been the better kits because it's Umbro. And like the one in the 6-2 game, that's an iconic one as well. But I would say it's hard to split that one in the 93-95 one, because that was my first trip. But for rivalry and for kind of knowing what Celtic is, I'd say that one or the NTL 2001.
Mm-hmm.
They would be my kind of top two.
So that's another one. It ticks all the boxes. It's got all the aspects of rivalry. It's got great kits. It's also had some players that's crossed the divide, kicked up a right stink. Will Johnson, Kenny Miller about 16 times.
Kenny Miller, aye.
But there's also there's another player that's crossed the Old Firm divide that probably a lot of people know Herdy. And there's actually a funny story about him trying to go to training. I definitely know a Rangers kit on. Do you want to tell everybody about when you played for Rangers?
Oh no, well, let's keep that quiet. So I tried to wear a Republic of Ireland top to Rangers training when I played for them, so that was good. So that went down like a lead balloon, that did. So,
and your dad's like that? No.
Shortest contract ever. That was that.
It's no happening.
I didn't get through the gates. That was that. We've spoken about some of the biggest derbies in the world. We've kind of ranked them in what we think is the most important, most iconic. Talked about different aspects of what makes a derby, and then obviously spoke about what kits are iconic for derbies. So yeah, what we want to know in the comments is what's your favourite one that we've spoken about, and if there's any that we've missed, or
there's probably lots that we've missed. Do you know what is your local derby? It doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be professional, it can be amateur, it can be junior, non-league. What is your local derby, and what makes it so spicy, or what makes it so interesting to you? That's answers on a postcard for that one. And
if you have any memories of derbies we've spoken about, or specific memories about any derbies that you've ever been to, or like stories that you've heard that we've not discussed on this, yeah, thanks very much for watching episode 4, and we'll catch you soon.
Cheers.
Cheers.